Okay, we begin 2019 with our government partially shut down over border security, our troops pulling out of Syria and Afghanistan, and Donald Trump still the subject of relentless attacks from both the news media and the Justice Department. So this might be a good time to remind ourselves not what we're against, we know what we're against, but what are we fighting for? Here on the Andrew Klavan Show, it's pretty basic. We are for freedom. I want each person to say, think, do, and spend his own damn money just as he pleases, no matter what the powerful believe is best for him. The Bill of Rights may protect our freedoms from government, but those freedoms come from our old friend Uncle God, and they are not to be interfered with by anyone. That includes Google or Twitter or ABC or CNN or any other power center. So, whatever's going on in the news, I'm for solving the problem while keeping our freedom, and we're going to take a look at how that works. So, the government is shut down because Trump wants some dough, about $5 billion, for funding a border wall, and the Democrats are saying no. So that it's only part of the government because they've already voted to keep a lot of the government funded. So 9 of the 15 federal agencies are affected by the shutdown. This is from the Wall Street Journal. About 420,000 employees at these agencies deemed essential are working without, they won't get paid, but 380,000 federal employees who are essential have been placed on paid leave or furlough. I just want to think for a moment what would happen if you went into your boss, if you don't work for the government, and he said, what do you do? Well, my job is inessential. I mean, the next thing you do, you'd be on the bus going home. The Environmental Protection Agency ran out of money over the weekend. That's why life in America improved, and the Federal Trade Commission has closed. The shutdown hasn't affected the mail or the delivery of Social Security checks. Museums, national zoos, stuff like that are having problems. And of course, they need to, the city of Washington, I guess the District of Columbia, is picking up the garbage in that place. So what are the two sides? Well, we have Trump obviously wants border security, and he has some fierce defenders, like, for instance, Chuck Schumer.
We know that keeping our borders safe from dangerous gang members, drug dealers, and human traffickers is critical. We let cross the border millions who take jobs away from American workers. I want to make it extremely clear that first and foremost, we are committed to ending the waves of illegal immigration that we've seen in the last 30 years. Crossing the border without permission from the government is a crime. When we catch someone crossing the border, prosecute them and deport them, we are solving the crime and punishing the criminal.
So, but he has many, many opponents too, like, for instance, Chuck Schumer.
President Trump, you will not get your wall. Abandon your shutdown strategy. You're not getting the wall today, next week, or on January 3rd when Democrats take control of the House.
Now, I don't want to say Chuck Schumer is a two-faced louse who'll just do anything that his donors want him to do. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want to say. Sorry, that's exactly what I want to say. So we're looking at this and we're thinking, what does freedom demand? It doesn't demand that we have, fewer Mexicans in the country. I don't care what color Americans are, as long as they believe in freedom, as long as they believe in the basic principles of America. You are welcome here as far as I'm concerned, but we do need the rule of law. Why? Why is it important that they don't pass laws and then just decree that, a baby died, or somebody has a sad face, or someone, Don Lemon is looking sincerely into the camera, we have to disobey that law? Why don't we want that? Because it's just, that means you can't be equal. You can't be treated equally, because it's just random who feels for who gets the feels over your plight in the next day or so. If you have a law, if you obey the law with compassion, but if you obey the law, then everybody gets treated fairly. The guy who's been talking sense on this during the shutdown is Lindsey Graham 2.0. Who basically said they should make a deal, giving something, the Republicans should give something on DACA, maybe extend the leave for those people so they can stay, and they should get some funding for the wall or border security in between. And here he points out the hypocrisy on the left.
Democrats have voted for 700 miles of the Secure Fence Act that had double-layered fencing. Call that whatever you'd like. In the Gang of 8 bill, we had $42 billion for border security, including $9 billion for physical barriers. The wall has become a metaphor for border security. And what we're talking about is a physical barrier where it makes sense. in the past, every Democrat has voted for these physical barriers. It can't be just about because Trump wants it, we no longer agree with it. There's nothing immoral about a physical barrier along the border in places that make sense. So there'll never be a deal at the end of this year, the beginning of the next, that doesn't have money for the physical barriers that we all have in the past agreed we need.
So that's it. You know, he's talking complete sense. We don't have to be absolute about this. We will maintain our freedoms. It's not going to change everything if we have a generous policy of immigration, as we always have had. The country will change as people come in and as different cultures come in, and we culturally appropriate their food and toss out their lousy habits of oppression and starvation and stupidity that other countries have that we don't always have, that we historically haven't had. So again, let him make a deal. Make a deal. Give Trump his wall. He's promised the wall. He's been keeping his promises. Give him something for the wall and get something in return. That's the way the government's supposed to work. It can't all be resist, resist, resist. If that's all Nancy Pelosi has got to offer, she is not going to get very far. Although I was not encouraged by a comment by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, who is a political journalist and documentarian. Here's her description of her mom.
She'll cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. That's all you need to know about her. No one ever won betting against Nancy Pelosi. She's persevered. You got to give her credit. No matter what you think of her, you have to give her credit because think about it. Think about all those presidents she's endured, right? She was the Bush, the Clinton, she's been through it all. So she's been around. This is not her first rodeo, as your friend George Bush would say. So she knows what she's doing. And should make you sleep at night, knowing that at least somebody in this town knows what they're doing.
What really bothers me about the left is on the left to have your daughter say, Mom will cut your head off and you won't even know you're bleeding. That's a compliment. That's what we're playing up. It's like you're on the right. If your daughter is saying that about you, you like have this look of absolute horror on your face. But on the left, they're going, yeah, we love that. We love a mom who will cut your head off and make you bleed to death. But as always, we're trying to talk sense. We're willing to compromise. We're willing to get to anything where we can have a law that can be obeyed. But everything is made worse by our friends in the news media. And so what the left wants to do, and by the left I mean the news media, because the news media is the paid informant, the paid PR system of the left. What they want to do is they want to give you the SADs for the federal workers who are out of work. Right now, I don't really have the SADs for the federal workers who are out of work because, I make the money that pays them. I'm paying them. If they're not doing anything that I'm interested in, I don't really care if they're out of work. But CNN, this is what they think the story is. They think the story is federal workers are sad. So they go and they read tweets. Listen to this. They read tweets from federal workers trying to make you tear up over their plight.
This shutdown is affecting thousands of federal workers who aren't going to be getting a paycheck this pay cycle. And they're taking to social media to talk about, what they're worried about, how they're going to pay their bills. And we want to read some of those to you.
Yeah, this federal worker tweets, let's put it up on the screen. We are both veterans. Husband has 20 years of service with 4 combat tours. We will not be able to pay our mortgage if this persists.
For this federal worker, paying medical expenses is a worry, saying my insurance premium is $600 per month. My son's insulin and pump supplies are an additional $600 per quarter, barely making it. Now I'll be going to work, paid in the future.
And from another federal worker, I am a furloughed Fed. I spent today calling the banks for the mortgage and the car loan, the electric company, the gas company, the credit card company. I have some savings, so I'll be okay for a bit. Won't be buying the new car to replace the 17-year-old Toyota now.
And one more here. Got some things for Christmas that I'm not unpacking. And receipts are in my purse, so I can return if needed for grocery money.
Well, boo-hoo. Now, let me ask you a question. Here's a journalism question. You think they called any of those people and checked on their stories? You think they sent a reporter to any of those people to check on their stories? They're reading tweets on the air. They're reading tweets on the air in a highly divisive political subject. People have absolute motive to go on and tell you sad stories about their plight. I mean, first of all, the pay doesn't even stop until I think January 11th. So I don't think any of those stories, none of those stories may be true. But did they check them? No. They are serving a political purpose, serving the Democrats because they think people are going to blame Trump for the shutdown. Every time a Democrat goes on TV, he says the Trump shutdown. You want to cry about this story? You want to get some tears about this story? Let's talk about the cop, the police officer, Ronald Singh, who stopped a guy for a DUI and was shot dead by the driver, who was a gang member who had outstanding warrants for him. He was a criminal, illegal alien. The cop, this small town cop, was a legal immigrant. He was the American dream. He'd come to America. He'd become a cop. He was doing great. He had a family. He has a little baby. This guy, this human, blows him away. Michelle Malkin wrote this piece, and she starts out. She says, border wall opponent Senator Kamala Harris tweeted 3 times between Christmas and New Year's Eve, bemoaning the plight of illegal immigrants and their children, but not a peep was heard from Harris about the brutal shooting death of Ronald Singh. Border wall opponent Representative Nancy Pelosi decried the deaths of 2 illegal immigrant children on the same day Singh was murdered, but not a peep about Singh. Border wall opponent Senator Dianne Feinstein released a public letter to the Customs and Border Patrol Agency on the day of Singh's murder to voice her strong concern about the recent deaths and illnesses of children, but not a peep about Singh. Let's let Singh's brother tell his story. This is after the arrest of the perpetrator.
Please bear with me. This is not easy for me. Ronald Singh was my older brother. Yes, he's not coming back, but there's a lot of people out there that misses him. And a lot of law enforcement people that I don't know that work days and nights to make this happen. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart to make this happen. I wish I could thank all the law enforcement agencies, Homeland Security in San Francisco, everyone, Bakersfield team. I was waiting for this to happen. I'd like to thank you, working day and night to make this happen. Thank you.
You go on CNN where they're worried about the federal workers, and they're always talking about this. They're always accusing people who want border security of being racist. This is about the browning of America, they say. But they have no proof of that either. Have they checked that? Have they got a survey? Have they got an interview? No, but they say it. It's always so fascinating to me when you look in the small California town, the law enforcement there, they're standing there, they're every color, they're gripping the guy's shoulder, they're all of them linked together, they're cop colored, they're American colored, and they're all linked together by this tragedy. And the county sheriff, Stanislaus County sheriff, his name is Adam Christensen, he went off on the sanctuary laws in this state that prevent them from contacting ICE when they know they've got a bad guy. Listen to this.
We can't ignore the fact that this could have been preventable. And under SB 54 in California, based on 2 arrests for DUI and some other active warrants that this criminal has out there, law enforcement would have been prohibited from sharing any information with ICE about this criminal gang member. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not how you protect a community. This is not how you assure the people who live in our community, regardless of their ethnicity, their culture, their race, any of that, that they live in a safe community. Because there are people who want to exploit and victimize others. And in this case, Officer Singh sacrificed everything. He paid the ultimate price trying to protect and serve the people of Newman. We need to have a conversation about that.
So, all I'm saying is this is the issue that makes me choke up about the government being closed. It's not the government being closed. It's that we do need border security. We do need the rule of law. Chuck Schumer has said it. Nancy Pelosi has said it. Barack Obama has said it. It's all about hating Trump.